Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Vine. I'm your host, Kaitlyn Bristowe, and today she needs no introduction. The one, the only, the icon, the legend, Whitney Cummings is on the podcast today. I have looked up to her as a comedian, as a human. I think she's hilarious, and she was even better in person, and I know that you're going to giggle your way through this episode of Off the Vine.
We were just talking about Haktua, Haley Welch, and she taught me a lot. You never know where you're going to get your wisdom. You never know who your teachers are going to be. Sometimes I always get wisdom in the wildest places, animals, plants these days.
Yep.
You know, Haktua is like my Dalai Lama. I think people are fascinated by why she's so fascinating and she's riveting. And it's because she doesn't think about what she's going to say before she says it. And I don't mean that as a slam. She's like incredibly clever and incredibly funny, which is, you know, why she's just a star. Let's be honest. She's just a star. She's like so charming effortlessly. Yeah. And I think we're all trying so hard to be charming and interesting and magnetic and engaging. And people are so smart. People that are consuming us. I think you talked about this on an episode recently, like the fact that we look down on viewers or, you know, television looks down and it's like, we think we're getting it past that. We think us being fake is like working. We think they're buying it. They're not buying it.
Some people are, and I think that's the scary part too.
I don't know that. That's interesting. And I'd be curious, like some examples, because I do see some people that are wildly inauthentic and really successful. And I'm like, but I'm also fascinated by our willingness to be conned.
You're right.
And sometimes we want to watch people for the wrong reasons.
Oh, a hate watch? I love a hate watch.
Sometimes people that are really successful, I'm like, this person's nuts. I cannot believe this person would be this delusional. This person has no self-awareness, but I keep watching because it makes me feel better about myself. So I'm going to keep watching. But they just think I'm a fan.
Yeah, that's welcome to the world of reality television. That's why we all watch Bachelor, Bachelorette, Real Housewives, because we all feel better about ourselves watching it.
Well, it's like MMA for women.
That is what it is. Mm-hmm. That's true. And but it's funny too, because I can't tell if I'm just getting older or as a society we're shifting, but like the Golden Bachelor and how pure it is. Mm-hmm. I find people actually really enjoying that because it's like a breath of fresh air these days when people are just genuinely looking for love.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
These older people they've still got so much life to live and they're genuine, they're sincere, they've lived life. They don't have time to be inauthentic.
Interesting.
Have you ever watched?
I haven't seen it, but I met the Golden Bachelorette recently.
Oh, Joan.
And loved her.
Isn't she just a delight?
She's just a delight, but also like, let's get to that in a sec. I want to finish my Haktua thing. My Asperger's is going to like spiral out of control if I don't finish this thought. But I learned a lot from the fact that like she really just says what she actually believes and what she actually thinks. And if she doesn't know something, she says, I don't know. Yeah. She's magical, but it's also such a testament to how fake people have become and how calculated and strategic and no shade on that. I could probably
business.
I could afford to be a little more calculated and a little more strategic, or else I'm just like 2 a.m. like taking down my TikToks. Like, God damn it, I shouldn't have said that about Tim Waltz. Like, I was sorry. So I end up having to clean up a lot of messes. And also I'm not going to say we're all, but a lot of people who are very famous and have a lot of money drone on about how much trauma they've had. Yeah. And their trauma is like their parents got divorced or their dad was in the military, so they moved around a lot. This girl, her mom is on crack still.
Yes, yeah.
She's a crack baby. Yeah. And I asked her about it. Or I was like, what does your mom think about your fame? And she was like, she's like, oh, my mom's a crackhead. And I was like, oh, and I laughed, of course.
Right.
And she's like, no, she's actually on crack. And I'm like, oh, is she okay? And she's like, no, we don't talk. I live with my grandma. Yeah. Real trauma survivors don't want to talk about it all day.
Well, and she learned so much. She is a grandma. Like, she is a granny, a like 95 Southern granny in a little mosquito body.
That's funny.
And like, I feel like she's just so pure because of that, you know?
Totally. And there's also something fascinating about someone that didn't try to get famous. It kind of just happened to her because we're all like, okay, I got to go in this talk show. I got to post this thing. What's the most, what time do I post on Instagram? Like, we're trying so hard to get seen for, probably all the wrong reasons. Let's be honest. My dad's dead. He's never going to give me the love that I wanted. I don't know why I'm still just like, got to get to Kaitlyn's. maybe in hell they've got YouTube. I don't know. Maybe they got Spotify in hell. I mean, they must. Dad, what about now? I made it. Like, and she's just like, it just happened to her. And she's like, this is wild. Yeah. You know, it's like, this is why Chapel Roan, I'm really like into her.
I'm obsessed.
When they were like, do you want to be in a movie? And she was like, no, actors are weird. I was like, let's go.
I love her honesty too, because she's like, just because I'm this famous singer who's like good at what I do and do these shows doesn't mean you get to disrespect my personal space and like touch me and talk a certain way about me. And she was like, I don't care if people are mad at me for saying that. And everyone's like, ooh, she's going to get backlash. And she's like, I don't give a shit.
And also like the more honest you are and the more like that backlash you get, the quicker you find your people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think I was whatever about Chapel Roan. And then when she did that, I was like, I like her. Yeah. She had big like Hollywood plant energy. Like she got famous so fast. I'm like, who's her uncle? Who's her dad? Like, how did she get all this? Yeah. And then that's what made me think she was really interesting.
I would like to circle back,
please,
to why and how you stay so authentic to yourself.
I'm going to say a couple things. Number one, I think any of the positive attributes that I have or characteristics I had come from a negative thing. You know, I kind of call it like trauma privilege. Like, you know, people are like, why are you so honest? I'm like, well, I grew up in an alcoholic home and everyone lied all the time. So I was always like, wait, but no, that's not. Hold on, Dad didn't pick me up from school today. He said he did. Wait, huh? Like you're just in a constant state of like yelling the truth out because everyone's lying and you're so confused as a kid and you get so sick of lies. So there's like a Tourette's about it. And when you grow up around alcoholics, drug addicts, again, for alcoholism to be present, alcohol doesn't have to be present. So it can be gamblers or eating addictions. A lot of, you know, my mom also had like a workaholism that was like decorating and painting, like just anything to get out of her own feelings, eating disorders, like, you have so little time, you have so little of their attention that you have to just get it out really quick, you know? So I ended up talking in this very staccato, like almost like Tourette's-y type way, but I cannot tolerate when something's bullshit. Like it just...
And you've always been that way because of that.
I had to do it so often because I had to participate in so many lies and this like, when you grow up in alcoholism, you're in this like bad long form, like improv game because everyone's just like, oh no, she fell because she was doing construction in the house. And I have to be like, yeah, mom was repainting the ceiling and she fell. You're like, oh God, like you have to lie to neighbors. You have to lie to teachers.
You start believing your own lies.
Totally. Yeah. And I'm great at lying. I don't like having a secret. Yeah. And I'm in Al-Anon, a 12-step program where it's like, you're only as sick as the secrets you keep. Yeah. And once you realize how true that is, and once you start like expunging all of your dishonesty and all of your like, you just, even when you're like manipulating, you don't even realize it. When you grow up in an alcoholic home and, or have a lot of neglect and you've had to manipulate people to get attention, to get food, to get money, to get whatever you needed. Get a ride home, whatever, you keep doing it in life. And it's like, of course, once you become aware of it, you start to like accumulate shame, which is the engine for maladaptive, ugly behaviors. And so I think I'm just like addicted to a lack of secrets, you know? And also I can't stand it when people lie to me. Yeah. So I'm sure it comes off kind of like abrupt or whatever. And I actually got in trouble. I did a podcast. Brooke Schofield was on. She's on Tana Mojo's podcast. She was fixing her hair. And there was like a hair like down her face. And I was like, oh, you have a hair. Like, I thought she'd want to know. And then I was like, Whitney's being a bully. Like, I'd want someone to tell me. You know,
what were you gonna? You were just trying to help,
of course. But you know, it's you know, I don't. Negative comments don't bother me. I know that they're all like a confluence of like who I actually am or what I actually present with the other person and their day and whatever.
Yeah, of course.
So it's if people need to come and like judge people and to get through their day, I just go like. I'm so grateful that I don't have to do that. Godspeed. I can like cope with that. But I want people to tell me if there's egg on my face. My biggest nightmare is that everyone knows something I don't know.
I don't want to look stupid.
I think that's it. Yeah. I don't want anyone to ever look stupid. So I'm always the person who's like, hey, I heard this. Hey, just so you know, this, Yeah. And I think it comes off as being like, honest. And then the other thing you said was authenticity. Also, I mean, I grew up with animals. Really, parents didn't parent me. And I got really lucky that I, was was sent away to live with my aunts, and we had 14 dogs, horses, and because the dream. And animals are very direct in their communication. Yeah. There's no need for lying in the wilderness except camouflage, you know, to protect yourself. And like horses are incredibly fair.
I love horses, and they mirror like what you need.
If they like you. Yeah.
If they like you.
Yeah. If they like you, they'll start communicating with you by mirroring what you're doing. Yeah. That's exactly right. And so I spend most of my time with horses, and they're so fair and they're so clear and they're so direct, and no one stays mad at each other because there's like, don't do that. You're taking up my space. Blah, and that's it. And then it's over. Yeah. So I just always think that being direct and clear and honest is a way of playing to the top of the other person's intelligence. I think if you're lying to someone, you're like insulting their intelligence. You're basically going like, you're dumb. Yeah. That's why when someone lies to me, I'm like, it's one thing to need to be shady, but you just think I'm dumb.
Right. And so many people do it, especially in the world, like the industry that you're in. I would think that you see that a lot, which would be discouraging.
Here's the big question. This is a genuine question I have for you. If someone's lying to themselves and then they tell you what their lie, are they lying? That's my biggest struggle. Because when people lie to me, sometimes I'm like, I think you think what you're saying is true.
Yes, there's a lot of those out there.
I've had to deal with so much of that where I'm just kind of like, you know what? I think you need to tell yourself 1,000 lies to get through the day. Yeah. And I'm just collateral damage. Yeah. You know?
But that's great that you can see it through that perspective.
Yeah. I'm on some like, we forgive others not because they deserve forgiveness, because we deserve ourselves. We deserve peace, you know? But it's like when someone's lying to themselves, you're just like, and that's my other thing. My nightmare is to lie to myself. Yeah. You know? And then tell someone what my lie to myself is.
I don't know if I'm overstepping, but are you in a 12-step program?
Yeah. I'm in something called Adult Children of Alcoholics, ACA Al-Anon. And it's when you've grown up around alcoholism. Oh. It's a miracle. It's basically free therapy. I can't recommend it enough to truly everyone. Codependence Anonymous is another program that I do. So I identify as a codependent. Codependents have the inability to tolerate the discomfort of others. Wow. Or the people pleasers, the perfectionists, you know, the people that grew up like thinking that they needed to be perfect in order to get love and attention. And then when we go into adulthood, which everybody does, whatever coping mechanisms you developed as a child, you continue worked really well. Wow. You continue doing as an adult and they don't work really well.
How long have you been doing this?
Almost 14 years.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
It's a miracle. I mean, it's a very simple, you know, it's like, you know, AA is a miracle. Like you can go to AA meetings. We all have some kind of addiction, even if it's a positive, healthy addiction. I've gone through identifying.
Oh my God, my phone. Serious one.
What's the plan for that?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's so bad. Like if I'm in the middle of a poop, I will clench my butt just to run get my phone to finish.
I wouldn't have left it. You're not an addict. You're not at my level of addiction if you didn't have it in the first place.
Well, it was the ADD that first led me to, didn't even know if I had to go to the bathroom, and then there I am on the toilet, and then I had to go get my phone. It's an addiction.
Yep. Yeah. And it's interesting because an addiction is defined a couple ways. It's when it starts being an obligation, stops being fun, or when it makes your life unmanageable. And it's tricky because you're like, in a lot of ways, our phones make our life manageable. Right. So as an addict does, justifies, rationalizes their drug. But you're like, oh, this is my business. This is money. This is how I make money, you know? But it did help me to turn it into grayscale when you put your phone on grayscale.
Oh, yeah. Can you explain this? Somebody else just talked about this the other day.
It's something where you go into you just look up what the settings are. Yeah. It makes it so it's all just black and white. Yeah. So there's something just a little less sexy about it and a little less of the dopamine hit.
It's like the kids where what is the baby thing that kids watch and it's all just colors and it's like where the addiction starts. It's like, oh, that's baby crack.
It's just dopamine. Yeah, just pure dopamine.
And that probably does have something to do with it. Plus all these apps and different things and it's all numbing.
And then I have another question for you.
Ask me.
Are we addicted to the phone, which is the light, fine, or is it the jealousy or the comparing to others? It depends on what you're doing on your phone tells you what you're actually addicted to, because ultimately the same part of the brain is the gambling addiction of Instagram or TikTok scrolling. What you're doing is you're playing the slot machines or, you know, you're just going like da-da-da-da. Boom. And you're trying to recreate the feeling that you had the first time you did it or last time you saw some great video or got a great
That's literally TikTok's strategy.
Yep.
So to give you a bunch of likes and comments and followers and then drop you down and then build you back up so that you just get this addiction.
As soon as you start, I started, by the way, not only that, I started saying I'm getting off TikTok. Yeah. And then I started getting back in the algorithm. I swear to God. Like, you know, in casinos that if someone's a big like high roller starts losing, they send like a hot girl over or they like figure out a way to make them win so that they'll stay. Whoa, you just blew my mind.
everything feels so manipulative. And then we have our phones on top of all of that, which just like my phone is manipulating me constantly. It listens to us. It shows us what I call it. Well, my therapist taught this one to me, but shopping for pain, which becomes an addiction where you're like looking for mean comments or you're looking for things to compare yourself to like sit in your own misery. But I think it's the like same thing with smokers. It's like sometimes for them, it's just the holding of the cigarette and the motion of it, holding the phone. Like I just feel like, when people go to parties, they don't know what to do with their hands and like they have a drink and they do this.
Yeah.
It's all part of it.
Social lubricant type thing.
Like what the hell? My phone just went into dark mode and I didn't do anything.
Wait, what?
It literally just said dark mode and went on.
Is this the new one?
No.
But here's the problem. I find that helpful. I don't mind.
Yeah, but how did it just listen to me do that?
I have not been marketed an ad on the internet of a thing that I didn't buy in months. It's always like, yup, I want it. Yup. It's like they've made a store just for you. You know what I mean? You're like, I need an umbrella. You open it, it's like, okay, add Temu, let's go. I mean, it is kind of like, there are parts of it where it's like we complain, but also like kind of need that vintage horse shirt.
All right, you know what? The other day, I went grocery shopping. I don't know why I deserve a pat on the back for that. Let me tell you, it was chaos, okay? I was trying to grab stuff for dinner, navigating packed aisles, still managed to forget half the things I actually needed, and don't get me started on the bill. Why are groceries so expensive these days? That's why I am so into Every Plate right now. For busy weeks, and especially as we gear up for the holidays, Every Plate is a lifesaver, and it's actually the most affordable meal kit out there. Their pre-portioned ingredients are fresh, delicious, and get this, cheaper than groceries. So not only do I save time, but I've got extra money for all the holiday shopping. Every Plate's menu has over 25 recipes each week with options like 30 minutes or less, yes, and family faves. And Thanksgiving, they even have fun sides like apple pie crescent rolls, I'm drooling already, and sweet potato casserole. Plus, okay, my favorite is the stuffing. When I've had too many helpings of stuffing, their holiday detox recipes are legit perfect for that. So with affordable dinners for just $5.99 per serving plus 50% off your first box, Every Plate helps you save money for a stress-free holiday. So get this amazing deal by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code VINE599. That's code VINE599 at everyplate.com/podcast.
All right, I hope you're all getting as excited for the holidays as I am. I'm such a nerd. It's that time of year again, Macy's Black Friday deals. They're officially here. Can hardly contain my excitement. I go ham on these Black Friday sales. There just is really something so special about this season. This is the moment we've been waiting for, right? It feels like all that holiday prep has been building up to the epic shopping day, and Macy's truly has some of the best deals of the season. And I have been saying that I've been getting a head start on my holiday shopping, and this year I'm truly ready to tackle that list this early. I really have. I've already started making a mental note of all the gifts I want to snag. And let me tell you, the deals are incredible. For starters, classic Levi's are 40% off, which is so funny because I just bought a pair of Levi's because Levi's is back, baby. So classic Levi's are going to be 40% off. These are perfect for everyone on my list. My dad, my sister, my friend, my niece, whoever. They always want to look stylish yet comfortable. Levi's, it's it, baby. And if you're anything like me, you love pampering yourself or someone special with beauty products. My niece goes nuts for beauty products. So you won't want to miss out on the 30 to 50% off discounts on your favorite brands. I have my eye on a couple sets that would make perfect gifts for my beauty obsessed niece, as I said, some of my friends, plus a little something for myself, because let's be real, we all deserve to treat ourselves during the holiday hustle. And let's not forget about the kids. My little godson, I'm super excited about the 20 to 60% off toys. I obviously have a bunch of little nephews and nieces. I have 6 stepsisters who all have kids, and my godson and my friends' kids. I just love to spoil kids in my life who are going to flip when they see what I've got planned. It's like the best surprise ever, and I can't wait to make their little holiday season a little more magical, Oh. Seeing the holidays through a kid's eyes? Tell me something better. But here's something that really makes my life easier. Macy's is offering free shipping on any purchase of $25 or more. This is such a game changer. We all know how busy this time of year can get. So being able to shop from, the comfort of my home and have everything delivered right to my doorstep, just a dream come true. No more battling the crowds, the long lines. I can't do it. And just a quick reminder, Macy's stores will be closed on Thanksgiving Day this year. So if you want to grab these amazing Black Friday Friday deals, you'll need to head over to Macy's.com. I can already picture myself with just like a warm little drink in hand, cozying up on the couch, browsing through all the fantastic offers. Oh, it's like the perfect holiday tradition, just finding those deals while relaxing at home. Thank you, internet. Remember when we used to have to go to the mall? I mean, we still can, and it's fun sometimes, but I really like shopping from home. The Black Friday event runs from November 24th to the 30th, so make sure you're ready to jump in as soon as those deals drop, because I know I'll be checking my list twice and making sure I'm ready to score everything on my shopping list. So grab your laptops or your phones, head to Macy's.com, and let's make this holiday season stress-free and fun. Can't wait to hear about what you score this year, so let's shop smart and save big together at Macy's.com. The 12-step, amazing that you've been doing that for 14 years. So my dad is going to be 35 years sober.
Oh, nice.
And he always says like, he goes to his AA meetings every single Monday religiously. It's church and it's therapy. And it's literally, I will just like, if he's home doing a meeting on Zoom, if it's not in person, I'm like, damn, I didn't believe in God till I just heard that step. Like it just like changes.
We're in a, like a bigger picture. Like we are in a crisis right now. And I think there is a God-sized hole that we're all trying to fill in other things. And I don't mean God as like the man in the sky, the like white guy. To me, what I always say to my sponsees is like, when they're like, I don't do the God thing. I'm like, yeah, neither. I went to a Catholic school and they like hit me. You know what I mean? Like they told me not to masturbate or I'd go to hell. Like, totally. It's not about a religion necessarily. It's God. I always say is like, you don't have to believe in God. You just have to believe that you're not God. If you can believe that you're not God and you can just be in the passenger seat and surrender that every now and then maybe your first instinct isn't the best choice, then like you can believe in God. And that's why we say like higher power, but you see, it's like people are like, I'm against religion. I'm against God. And it's like, but you go to Soul Cycle every morning at 8:00. And if you don't get there, you're going to like throw a fit. Like you also collect crystals and you know what I mean? People are like joining cults at a record high. Yeah, no, totally.
I am
totally.
Yeah.
I collect figurines from Labyrinth. We all have our thing, and so I do find it interesting, these other little religion or you start following Joe Rogan or start following you or like we're finding other ways to recreate the same thing. But the whole, whoever invented religion, whatever genius business person, like knew that connecting with other people helps like regulate dopamine, helps you not feel like you're terminally unique. That's like
it literally helps people live longer as community.
And by the way, getting out of your own head. Like, I mean, I think the most toxic thing about social media is just this me, to the point of the scrolling. So I guess we're designed, like our reptilian brain is designed to any room you go into to rank where you are ranked. Right? To know like who's above you and who's beneath you. And we normally follow people that are more successful than us, right? So your primordial brain is just saying, I'm lower, I'm lower, I'm lower, I'm low status, I'm low status, So it's just so demoralizing.
Damn. I mean, that's why we all have imposter syndrome, because somebody's always prettier and more successful.
Do you have imposter syndrome?
Sometimes. I do sometimes think like, who am I to be living my dream?
Yeah, interesting.
Which is so like, even interviewing you, I'm like, I've loved you for so many years.
Oh, whoa.
How many years have you been doing stand-up?
Almost 20.
Oh my gosh. And you're still crushing it on tour.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're on tour right now. This tour is called Big Baby Tour.
Big Baby Tour.
Because you have a baby.
I have a baby.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Wild.
Again, inspirational, because I'm 39 and I want to have a baby when I'm 40.
You got all the time in the world.
Right?
I said it's weird because I got pregnant at 40. I had a lot of, reservations about getting married and having a kid. Yeah. Like, I know this sounds insane, but I was always like, how can I marry someone before I've seen them with a kid?
I get that.
I don't know how this person's going to be.
Well, because we've been trained to think this is everything's so linear, and that's you go to school, you go to college, you get a job, you marry a guy, you have a baby,
and then you get married and you spend all the money on the wedding, and then you don't have enough money for the kid. And then by the time you have the kid, you guys are so mad at each other because you waste all this money on a wedding. So I just couldn't like wrap my head around the conventional way of doing things. I also a couple things. Number one, it took me a while because I knew on some level, like I know I have like just like trash DNA. Like I just know I have hillbilly DNA. Like I want to be the cycle breaker. Like I want to break these cycles.
If you want to, you will.
Love that.
Yeah.
I was like, I learned about epigenetic imprinting. I knew like the patterns that I was subconsciously like, doing that I saw. I knew that I wasn't treating myself well. And I think such a big part of parenting is taking care of yourself and setting that example. They just do what they see, not as we tell them to do. And so I was like, I need to spend all this time like like healing myself and like fixing myself. And I knew that was part of it. Did you freeze your eggs? Am I allowed to ask?
Yes, I did.
Oh, sick. How old?
I froze my eggs when I was 32.
Great.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
I think I got 16.
Nailed it. That's amazing.
I feel good about that.
Great job. Sorry, that was weird. Great job.
Great.
I sound like the head of Gilead. Like, what am I? So sorry. I'm like fertile over here.
Fertile.
Gross. I mean, I think that egg freezing, like everyone's gonna, it's very expensive. I always say, like, ask your parent. It's disgusting that it's not covered by insurance. Some companies it is. I want to say Google, Facebook, whatever. They probably steal your DNA and make robots out of it. But it's like, this is another story. I always say to girls in their 20s, just like, ask for Christmas. Don't get a Christmas gift for 10 years and just ask your parents to help you get your eggs frozen. I'm telling you, you don't need that purse. You don't need those boots. Just like, trust me, because, I remember what I was going to say. And it was worth all this rigmarole. I haven't used my eggs.
Yeah.
Well, I used them, unclear. But it took the pressure off so that I found myself like the ticking clock made me lower my bar over. I was engaged. Yeah. Like I was engaged at 37 years old and I knew it wasn't a right match, but I was like, I just have to because it's like I'm running out of time. Knowing that my eggs were frozen helped me to like not, I don't want to say settle for the wrong person because they were great people. We just weren't a match. Right. But like, I was like, I'm not going to bring a child into the world with someone where it's not a match. I don't want, that's not me breaking the cycle because I watched two parents that hated each other. Yeah. And I was like, let me just like wait, even if it's unconventional. And also I learned about how birth control changes the way that we smell pheromones. So we're attracted to a different kind of man. And I was freaky. Like really freaky. So a lot of the bad relationships everybody was in their 20s and 30s, if you were on birth control, you don't have to blame yourself. You don't have to blame the other person. It can maybe be nobody's fault. It could just be the fact that you're on birth control. They say that if you get engaged to someone when you're on birth control, you should wait at least a year before you get married to make sure you're still attracted to the person.
And get off birth control?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So when you're on birth control, you smell pheromones differently because it's your body thinks it's pregnant, so you're attracted to a different kind of person.
Interesting.
Wild.
So how old is your baby now?
10 months.
10 months?
Such a munchkin. Oh yeah, I got pregnant naturally at 40. It's possible. Yep. I mean, I took NAD, NMN, NAC, went off tap water as well.
I have my whole house on filtered water. So
that's amazing. It's just more the fluoride. That's the only thing that spooks me. Because I was like, if I'm going to try to get pregnant at 40, I can't also be like poisoning myself.
So do you really watch what you put on your body, in your body?
I do now. Yeah. Because, it's so, I'm not crazy. Because if you stress out over it, the stress is actually worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Again, same reason with why people can't get pregnant, adopt, get pregnant because the stress is gone.
Okay. Exactly it. All my friends, they try to get pregnant, they give up, they just have a glass of wine, get stoned, all of a sudden they're pregnant. Yeah. Because your body shuts down. This is why like animals don't, reproduce in captivity without a tremendous amount of intervention because they're so stressed. Right. And cortisol and adrenaline shuts down your reproductive system. So what was the question? Oh, do I? Okay. So yes, I don't, if I need to have water and the only option is, I'm not going to go like, I can't believe I'm drinking this fluoride water. You know what I mean? Because that's actually going to make it worse. Yeah. It's just sort of like every now and then I have to do this. The reason I'm pretty anal retentive about it is because I am on the road so much and I know that Fridays and Saturdays, and probably half of Sundays, I'm going to have to eat in airports and I'm going to eat a bunch of trash. Yeah. So I try to control it when I can. Yeah. And look, it's impossible to isolate the variables of why I stop being crazy, but what's going on with our hormones, and why women are just called crazy all the time, and why some of them are acting wild. It's like the endocrine disruptors, like our makeup, our perfume, I
don't trust broccoli anymore. There's stuff sprayed on it.
Pull that. If that's not on a loop as the clip, I don't trust broccoli.
I don't. There's shit sprayed on it. Who knows what's in our broccoli yet? God.
Kale, bad news.
What?
Yep, I know. Vegetables, we say vegetables are actually the worst thing because they have to put so many fertilizer. They say the most unhealthy thing now you can order at a restaurant is a salad. Oh. Women get half their calories from salad dressing, and there's so many seed oils. I'm bumming everybody out. And
so what are we supposed to eat? Just bowls of meat?
Look.
Carnivore diet?
They don't call me Ho Rogan for nothing.
Rogan?
No, but I grew up eating canned garbage cereal, candy. So my thing was like, look, I grew up where I didn't have a choice. I had to eat stuff with chemicals. Most of us do. I now have been able to become financially solvent. How about instead of buying a bunch of purses and clothes that like don't even really fit that I can wear once, why don't I invest in my health?
I hide my Chanel bag.
I was like,
oh my God.
I mean, look, hashtag Bethany Frankel. But I also watched my parents have strokes very young, and I had to take care of them my entire, like, basically late 20s and 30s. And I was like, I'm never going to do that to my kid. I'm never going to not take care of myself so that my kids have to. I have friends that are like 42 that have cancer.
Yeah, it honestly freaks me out.
Something's up.
Something is up.
And by the way, I'll at least know I tried.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? If I do get it, I'll be like, I tried the water thing. I tried this.
See, but then if you get it, I'm going to be like, well, then I'm not doing anything.
It could be a lot of other things.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's who knows? I could live over a nuclear power plant right now for all I know.
Right.
You know,
everything is scary.
But also not, I think finding little things that help you feel, it's a religion. How about that? Maybe that's my religion, going like the same way that you feel like going to church will make it so you go to heaven. I'm like, maybe I'll get cancer later if I don't, you know, do this one thing, or if I don't.
Well, and it probably makes you feel good.
Also, soda's so much better when you drink it like once a month. It's also like I'm kind of a treat. I'm kind of an edger that way. Like that's my thing. It's like, you know, I've never done cocaine, and all my friends are like, how have you never done cocaine? That's so crazy. And I'm like, no, I want to save it for when I'm like in a nursing home.
I just try it for the first time.
But like that's addiction, managing your supply, being like, I want to feel it so bad that I'm going to wait and like keep waiting. Like I don't want to do it yet because I want to wait. Because if I do it, then I will have done it and it'll be over. I mean, that's also called anhedonia, right? Where you can't enjoy the moment you're in because you're grieving it being over.
I do that with food.
Ooh, tell me.
I literally do. If I'm so excited for a meal, I already get sad thinking about when it's over or when I'm full because I enjoy food so much.
It's anhedonia, yeah.
I'm with I didn't know there's a word for that.
I mean, that's what Annie Hall was initially called, anhedonia. But it's I have that too. Like I never want to go on vacation because I'm like, then I'm gonna because when I'm there, I'm just like, this is gonna be over soon.
Yeah, I do that.
Don't enjoy it. Don't get used to this because then you're gonna be like, I haven't gone to the what is it called, the Sphere in Vegas.
Yeah,
because I'm like, I don't want to feel that.
You're happy. Like, nope, not until I'm on my deathbed with cancer.
But then I have to go back to reality.
Yeah, so you don't like high highs and low lows. You like to just
my brain goes like, this is now how life should be.
Yeah.
It's like when people talk about Molly, they're like, Molly's so amazing. The week after you're gonna want to kill yourself, but it's amazing. I'm like, it's not worth it to me. I think you just have to know your brain. I don't think that there's hard and fast rules for everybody. Yeah. I think you have to know if you have an addictive personality. I have an addictive personality. It works very well for me. I think to your point before, like we're all just doing things that worked in the past.
Off the Vine is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. So let's be real, as we always are. Multitasking, as we talk about, can feel like an Olympic sport. You got your favorite podcast playing. Hi, it's me. Someone next to you is chatting away. Your car fan is blasting. You're scanning for a parking spot that doesn't feel like it's a mile away from the door. Overwhelming, I know. But here's the good news. Not all multitasking is a headache. Quoting with Progressive Insurance is actually super easy. They've got this handy little comparison tool I've talked about on the pod before that does all the heavy lifting for you. It compares rates from multiple companies so that you can find the one that works best for you, even if it's not with them. And all you need to do is head to Progressive's website, pick the coverages that you want, like comprehensive and collision or personal injury protection, and boom, their tool will show you Progressive's rate along with rates from other companies all lined up, ready to compare. Super simple and, dare I say, kind of satisfying. So press play on comparing auto rates. Head to progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations, and prices vary based on how you buy. Okay, you guys know I love the holidays, any holiday, but let's be real, shopping for everyone on your list can be a lot, and that's why I am so glad that I found and I'm able to share the Skims Holiday Shop. Seriously, best destination for all of my holiday gifting. Not only do they have the cutest pieces for everyone in your life, but they've got stuff that I couldn't resist keeping for myself too. I've always been a fan of Skims, so I was like, yes, please. I am borderline obsessed with the soft lounge sleep set that I got. So soft and cozy. Perfection for lounging around the house with like a hot coffee or something, or binging my favorite shows. And the bralette set, chef's kiss. These are the kinds of gifts that I know my sister and girlfriends will absolutely love, plus everything comes in the cutest packaging. I feel like packaging is everything. So gift wrapping basically done for all of us. So if you're looking for holiday gifts that'll make everyone, including yourself, happy, head to the Skims holiday shop at skims.com. They've got styles for women, men, kids, even pets. What? And after you place your order, don't forget to select podcast in the survey and choose the Off the Vine in the drop-down menu to let them know that I sent you. Okay? Thanks.
Friends of mine had a baby shower, and this is probably going to not hit perfectly, but it is what it is. Everyone's made up their mind about me at this point. That's the other thing, that another way that you're able to be like authentic, and just when you're like, everyone's made up their mind.
Yeah, you aren't going to change their mind.
I'm not changing anyone's
No.
mind today.
No.
It's fine. I was sad. I was kind of feeling sorry for myself because I wasn't, the father of my son and I were not synced together.
Yeah.
That seemed like the healthy, emotionally sober choice. He's amazing. And I was like, this guy is a father, but I know I don't want to be in the way of him finding the person that's perfect for him. And now our son will never know the difference.
Right.
You know, and we'll have this great co-parenting relationship. How cool. And then I'll find my person. He'll find his person.
Well, and think of how many kids are going to grow up with people co-parenting, you know?
And by the way, now there'll be 4 awesome people in his life.
Yeah. And there's no shame. There doesn't have to be shame around it, where our parents felt so much shame around divorce. Like, I just think that's changing too, which is so good for the kids.
Totally.
Yeah.
So like, it is what it is, whatever. His last name's Cummings. His life isn't going to be easy. It's fine. Adversity is also good for kids. Let's be honest. And so I'm there, and I'm like, by like month 6 or 7, I'm starting to feel like sad. And I'm like, why? Like, I'm doing this alone. This is so, because like, you have no one to like take pictures, you know, like you're kind of like, all my pregnancy photos are like selfies. They look like weird thirst traps. Like, like it's just like, it just was like kind of sad. And
if I'm pregnant, I'm definitely doing thirst traps.
Yeah. Never been hit on more by men in my life.
Really? It's the pheromones.
The inability to get pregnant?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
The giant like avatar vein titties and the not needing contraception. And people were like, you know, I was like, it kind of sucks that, you know, I'm not with the dad, but whatever. And everyone's like, you are so lucky. All the women were like, you are so lucky that you don't have to tell the dad what to do. And it was kind of like, because I made a movie called The Female Brain. I know it's like very hot take these days to say men and women have like different brains. A little bit's nature, some of it's nurture, but some of it's hardwiring. And you deal with Huberman on this. I'm not, you know, a scientist. But, you know, it's funny because I had this baby nurse helping me sleep train. And she was like, oh, you're so lucky you don't have a dad in the picture, because one of the biggest tensions is like, it's just not necessarily a man's instinct. They're not bonded the same way we are right away. Like, as far as they're concerned, the baby is something that almost killed their wife.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And they don't know how to communicate with it. And they sometimes don't know how to help. And, you know, she's like, anytime you ask a man, you know, what to do something, they just get overwhelmed on very simple things because of the way that their brain works. Like, she'd be like, a guy would be like, how can I help? And they'd be like, get a onesie, get a bottle, and get a sleep sack. Yeah. And then the guy will be like, which one do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And she'd be like, just all of them. And he'd be like, what order?
Yeah.
And she's like, I could have done it by now. You know, it's like our brains can do 5,000 things at once, like these octopus tentacles. And I think
it's not their fault.
We both evolved to be, you know, strong at different things.
Yeah.
I see the men in my life being able to hyper focus on one thing for 2 hours. And I'm like, I'm so bored. Oh my God. How can you watch baseball this long? Yeah. Like, oh my God, this is driving me nuts. You know, so I think we're designed to be more complementary.
And if only we could just like see it for what it is.
Yeah.
We expect them to be like have that motherly instinct.
By the way, if you want someone to parent, go be a lesbian.
Yeah.
Like, don't, you know what I mean?
I've said it on my podcast before, being gay has always been on my vision board. I wish it would happen for me.
You live in Nashville though. I dated a girl for a second, but we live in LA.
You?
Yeah, we live in LA though. It's like, honestly, the men are so effeminate at this point. Dating a woman is like the straightest thing you can do.
But was it nice?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, because maybe for a minute
No, dating someone that can read micro expressions is a nightmare. What are you talking about? No, I don't want to decode how you're feeling with a Fiona Apple YouTube video at 2 a.m. I have to figure out if you're mad at me or not.
That's exhausting.
Yeah. Like what?
Exhausting. Wait, you're hosting a new show.
It's called Fast Friends. It's about the show Friends.
It is?
It's just a game show about the show Friends.
Wait, so is it like trivia?
It's trivia from Friends, and we shoot it on the Friends in New York. There's a Friends experience, which is like all the sets. Know. Oh, really? Are you a fan?
Yes, I'm cute. I have the Friends trivia game at home.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm obsessed. I know everything about that show.
No way.
Yes. You could have asked me questions, but okay.
I know. Okay. What was the first word that Rachel's baby said?
I do know this one because it was about the big butts. right?
Well, that was a song.
Oh.
I like big butts and I cannot lie is what like Ross sang, right? I'm cheating because I literally just did this show for a week straight.
I know this answer, but I'm really bad under pressure.
It's honestly the hardest one.
Oh.
I don't know why I did this to you. It's just because it's not a word. It's not a word. That's a good point. Oh, thank you. Let me ask another one.
Okay.
But I can tell you. What was the name of Joey's stuffed penguin?
Oh, and I know this because I just got it.
By the way, I love that you say this. That's because I'm not good under pressure like this
I'm so bad. I did Family Feud twice, and I'm like, oh,
and then
like,
as soon as it stops rolling, you'll know it was Hugsy.
See, and I knew that because I just had that question.
Can I tell you? It is so annoying because then you seem like a liar because when I did the gig, I was like, I know everything, and then we would get on the Zooms, they'd ask me stuff, and I'd be like, I know this.
I know it's,
and they'd say it, and I'd be like, well, I knew that.
That's when I was doing Name That Tune. I didn't get Old MacDonald Had a Farm.
It's not on the tip of the hippocampus. That one is not. It's not. And also, only you know how your brain works. Like certain people, like they'll play a clip and then you have to finish the sentence. Certain people got that right away. I'm not good with like what was the first word. It was glebe, wasn't it? Glebe.
Yeah.
If I was watching it, I probably could remember. Like I'm a very visual person.
Glebe, of course.
Yeah.
See, like I knew that.
But it's a bunch of like Super Friends fans. And honestly, I just said to the people I work with, I was like, I took a little bit of time off to, have a kid and try to update my software and, like mature as a person and to like have a little bit of a life, for art to imitate life, you have to have a life.
Right.
And I realized I didn't have much of a life. Like I remember I was in a writer's room on this TV show I did and someone was like, what if like the character like, goes to like a baby shower on Sunday? And I was like, nobody goes to baby showers. And everyone was like, no, Whitney, you don't, because I work 7 days a week, 24. And I realized I don't even know how to write characters anymore that are relatable because I'm never like doing anything fun or having balance. And I did go to a Workaholics Anonymous meeting once.
Oh, good for you.
It was
eye-opening.
Everyone was late. Everyone was like, because we're all workaholics. Like everyone was late.
Oh, I picture workaholics being punctual.
Oh, that's funny. But this was like a healing to not, to take our drug from us. And then there were a lot of people that were like successful or whatever. And we all kept saying like, I love your work. Yeah. Like encourage. It's like going to a like AA meeting and being like, you are so funny when you're drunk. Like you're so like you drunk. And,
encourage.
Yeah. We like could not. There was a woman that was addicted to crafting. It was actually like bone shit. Like she couldn't stop crafting.
Was it like Kourtney Kardashian with her coupons? Remember when that happened?
I love when rich people are wild about money. I guess that's why they're rich.
The richest people are always the cheapest.
That's why they're rich.
Yeah, that's why they're rich.
They know how quick it can go.
Yeah. I could talk to you for 5 more hours, but
we'll do it again another time.
Okay, fine.
Thanks for having me.
I'll see you Friday in Nashville.
Congratulations.
I'm Kaitlyn Bristowe. I'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next